Let me try the icon set, and this icon set is also interesting. You can use icons. You can use icons to determine what is going on, whether you have high values or low values. So these icon sets are also interesting, really interesting. For example, let me use this one here, and this one tells us that we have some values that are high, above average, some values that are below average, and some that are around the average. Let me make some change here and put this one somewhere around 2000, and let's see the changes we'll have. So we can see a lot of changes. Now, this conditional formatting helps you to visualize your data by just looking at the cells. So based on what is going on, you can see that your data is highlighted in any way you will define. So you can just design your own formatting and it will apply. So that is what we are seeing here, and I think this is really cool. All right, good morning. You are all welcome back to class, and today we want to continue with our studies in Microsoft Excel, and we want to focus on what is called formatting. This is one of the most important parts of Excel, that if you don't understand or you don't have the skills, your work will never be presentable. You can apply all the formulas and functions in Excel, but if you don't format, your work will not be presentable. Your work will look unprofessional. Your work will not be appealing to people who look at them. And in the business world, we value documents that are professional looking, and your document must speak for itself. And to be able to do that, you need to have some skills in formatting. Now, formatting is all about styling and coloring or arranging. So arranging, styling, coloring, and just making sure that your document looks presentable. So over here it says that formatting in Excel simply refers to modifying or customizing the appearance. And when we say the appearance, we are talking about the look and feel. Usually we use this phrase in IT or in formatting, look and feel, or the look and feel. And usually it talks about the appearance of whatever you want to present. So formatting in Excel simply refers to modifying or customizing the appearance, into brackets, the look and feel of your worksheet in order to make it more professional looking and appealing to viewers. Excel provides several formatting tools that allow you to make your data appear the way you want. So if you want your data to look professional, then you need to have some you need to have some formatting skills. And today we want to look at these subtopics in formatting, where we are able to change the font and the font colors and the font styles. And over here we have shading. We should be able to shade the background of text. This one says merge and center. We should be able to merge, because in Excel we do merging a lot, so we should be able to merge. Then we have alignment, we have text orientation, we have the format painter, which we really need to look at what it does. We need to learn how to insert images into our work. We need to know how to apply the number format. We need to learn how to format as tables. We need to learn about borders. This is extremely important. We need to learn indenting, how to use the indent. We need to learn text wrapping, or how to wrap text, how to enable, disable the grid lines, And the most amazing one here is conditional formatting. This conditional formatting, if we don't talk about it, then we've not done anything in Excel. So we will get to conditional formatting, and let me demonstrate what conditional formatting does. For example, this is the second exercise we'll be working on today, and this particular work is dynamic in the sense that watch this. Over here under the difference column, we are supposed to see the calculation of the budgeted and the actual. That's the difference. So here we have 189, so the difference is what? 11. Is that correct? Okay, good. Now negative 11. Okay, or 11. Now it is applying a red background to all the negative values. Let's assume the 89 changes to something like 120. You see that the background color automatically changes. This is what we call conditional formatting. Look at this. If this 50 suddenly becomes negative 90, the color of the text changes. How in the world do we do this? This is called conditional formatting. If the total here, let's say the total is in negative, you see that the color changes. This is what we mean by conditional formatting. That is applying formatting when certain conditions are met, just like the way we use the if function. I don't know if you remember the if function. All right, so we'll be looking at conditional formatting, and again, if we don't learn conditional formatting, then it's like we shouldn't learn anything, or we've not done anything. All right, so we'll be looking at this work. We'll be given this same work to do, and in creating this worksheet, all we are trying to achieve is to learn how to style things and format professionally, because this document or worksheet looks very professional. So we should learn how to do this. And we have another worksheet here which we'll begin with. So looking at the types of formatting we have here, by the time we finish working on them, we would have achieved some formatting skills. Again, formatting is all about coloring, arranging, and just making sure that the finished work looks professional to be presented, or looks presentable to high officials and in business. All right, so let's begin. The first formatting we'll be doing is simply the font. And when we talk about font, we are just talking about the font style and the font style. What I mean by font style is the font name and the other properties. So when you come here, you see that we have a group here called font. So let's say we have something in this cell B3, and it says products, and over here we have QTY. Over here, let me put months. All right, something like this. Now, to apply fonts, it means you can apply all the properties we see here, and this is really important. So let me click on the first cell here, and you can also highlight a group of cells, but I'm just choosing one for now. And the first font you can change is the font itself or the font name. The font name simply refers to the appearance of the text. Just like humans have different handwritings, we all have different handwritings. Are our handwritings the same? Okay, good. So in document creation, you can make sure you choose a writing style that suits your work. So when you click here, you can get different styles. Some people, we have fonts like this, and when you select, your work will look like that. We have fonts like this. We have different fonts. In business, you should use simple font, and in Excel, most of the time we don't change the fonts. We hardly change the font in Excel, but I'm going to change this to Area Black just to let you see how this feature is applied. So what I changed here is simply the font, and this font here, I've not applied any bold or anything to it. The way this font looks is the actual way it is designed. Let me change it again to a different font, like let's try Times New Roman. So when I choose Times New Roman, you'll see that Times New Roman looks like this. Now, the font here refers to how the texts look like. If you look at how this text looks like, it is different from this because the fonts are different. This font is a very popular font called Calibri. So when you come here, you see that the name is Calibri, and this is how Calibri looks like. Over here, whenever you see it, you should recognize it. This is called Times New Roman. And when we talk about font, the more you work with fonts, the more you remember them. And so whenever you see them, you should be able to tell that, oh, this is Times New Roman, or this is Old English Text, or whatever font we are dealing with. So this QTY, let me change it to a font like Old English Text. Now, Old English Text, this is how it looks like. So the font here simply refers to the appearance of the text, or the style of the text. All right, most of the time you should just stick to the default one given. So let me go back to Calibri and select Calibri, and so Calibri looks very plain and professional for Excel worksheets, unless of course you have a title. For example, I want to click here and put a company name. So the company name I want to put is let's say Bitware Company Limited. Now, Bitware Company Limited, I did a typing in cell A1, and you can see that it has crossed over to B because the text is long. And when I click inside A1, I'm able to see it in the formula bar. When I click inside B1, nothing shows in the formula bar because the text is not in B, the text is in A. That is why it shows here when I select A. But what I want to do is to format it in a way that it covers a number of cells all together. So to do that, let me just come here and add something like total here. And so I have 4 cells. So I'll look at the cells. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I want to let this be well positioned. So I'll highlight all the 4 cells here, and I'll apply this formatting we'll be using called Merge and Center. So when you apply Merge and Center, look at what has happened. The merging I talked about before that we'll be using, this is what it does. When you use Merge and Center, you group a number of cells as one. So here I highlighted 4 cells, I applied Merge and Center, and all of a sudden all the 4 cells have become one. When you click outside those 4 cells, you can select individual cells, but when you come then you try selecting that cell, it picks all the 4 at once. So all the 4 have become one, so they have been merged. Okay, after merging, I can come here and choose a different font like Area Black, because I want it to really stand out, and we know Area Black to be a font that really stands out. So something like this, it makes sense because I want this to be very catchy, and instead of applying bold and other things, I know a font that is already bold and already strong and already catchy. So I just use that font, and you can see that it looks really good. I also want to come here, highlight these 4 cells, and guess what I want to do? These 4 cells, what do you think I'm about to do? Good. So I'm going to merge and center. And remember, when you apply merge and center, it applies an alignment of center to it automatically. So anytime you use merge and center, it will come, the text will appear in the center. If you don't want it that way, you have to change it. All right, so let's say over here I want to put a subtitle or the title of the document that says annual sales report. Something like this makes sense. The company name is here, the title of the document, and then the document or the spreadsheet begins under it. Now, it doesn't look very professional to me right now, and to solve that, I will actually apply a shading to the background. So this is where we apply shading in the font group. So I can come here and apply some shading. So I can choose a color that fits well. So I'll look through, and any color that I think is okay, I can apply. So something like this. And over here I also want to have a different shade of color like this. Then I can go ahead and highlight these ones and just make them bold for now. Make them bold for now, and then I'll continue putting in my data. So let me quickly put in some values here. February, and remember autofill, I can just use autofill to give me up to December. Okay, fine. So let's say we have some products. Let's name some products, like we have milk, we have what, beans, sugar, salt. Okay, Lipton. That's perfect. All right, so the quantity, let me just put some quantities here, like 1, 2, and remember autofill. Once the autofill detects a pattern, when you apply it, it will follow your pattern and create for you. I'm not trying to say that this is the quantity, I'm just trying to repeat autofill. And why do I have total here? Okay, so I made a mistake, and I'll use a mistake to teach something. So here I will say we have unit costs or price, and over here we have total. So I realized I made a mistake, and so I need to add a new column. So I want to put price here and total here. The total is outside the merging we did here and everything. So how do I solve that? Quickly, I'll come and highlight everything. I'll pick the merging first, and I will destroy the merging first of all. So when I click on merge and center again, you'll notice that the merging has been broken and the cells have come back to normal. Then I'll highlight from A1 to the new column I want, and then I will apply merge and center again, and you can see that it has solved it. Can you see that? All right, so here I'll come here and destroy the merging, and you see that merge and center is selected. That means you already have merge and center in it. Let me click on the arrow here, and we can see we have unmerged cells. Let me click on unmerged cells, and it's the same thing here. So I'll unmerge, then I'll highlight it well and merge. So merging and center has been corrected. Here I can put some prices here. Let me just put 20, 19, and just use autofill to apply the pricing Or let me just make the price look a little bit high, like 180, and this will be 185. Sorry, 175. All right, so let me go back and use autofill again on all of them, and autofill will apply to them. Now I want to calculate the total, or again, because the prices here are financial values, I want it to look that way. Now, one way you can simply make numbers look like financial values is to apply this style here called the comma style. Please, can you see this? When you apply comma style, you see that this place will change. So I'm clicking on it, and you can see that it already changes to accounting. So when you apply the comma style, it is just like the accounting. It is actually the accounting format, but without the currency symbol. So instead of 180, I'm going to change it again to like 1800. Now you can see that it has applied comma and decimal places. And let me make this 1750, and you can see that it is in the accounting format. Please, can you see this? And this is one way to quickly or easily make financial values look different from mere numbers. This quantity is just a number, but this here is an amount or financial value or figure. Now, so, yes, please.
Then, for instance, you want to apply the symbol like the city sign to only the price, so that anyone who sees it will know that it's exists.
Good. So you can also come here and apply your currency here. If it's dollar, you put. If it's Ghana cedi, you can put something like this here, and everyone will know that it's in Ghana cedi. This is beautiful. So here, instead of going through accounting format and removing the currency symbol, just apply comma style, and comma style will make it look like this, and anyone who sees this already knows that you are talking about money. All right, so the total here is going to be the price times the quantity, right? So here, which function can we use? The product function. So products, and I'll just highlight these two and close, and I have my total here. I'll double click on the autofill handle, and the total will be calculated. Now when you see this, you see that it's not professional looking. It doesn't appear okay. Why doesn't it appear okay? Who can tell me? Exactly. Even though the numbers are showing, it doesn't look very okay, because this is money, and financial figures should look that way. They are not mere numbers. All right, so I need to highlight all of them and just apply the comma style, and you see that this will change to accounting, and so you see that everything looks much better. So when we talk about formatting, all these are part of formatting, making your work appear professional. These are all parts. Now, one thing you need to note about these comma styles is that the comma style is not applied to the value in the cell. It's just applied to the appearance of the value. For example, I've selected 14,300, right? When you go to the formula bar, okay, this one you are seeing the function. Let me explain that by typing 14,300 here. Now I have typed 14,300, and I want to apply comma style. When I apply the comma style, you'll see that it looks like this, right? Good. Let's go to the formula bar and check what we see. Over here, you can see that there is no comma, there is no dot, there is no decimal. This is the actual number, but here it is appearing this way. Remember, formatting is just about the appearance. If you don't know about this, and you come here and you type 14 and bring the comma yourself, type your 300, bring the dot yourself, 00, you have made a terrible mistake. This is very terrible because this is no longer a number. The computer will not recognize this as a number. If you are using an advanced version of Excel, it may try correcting it for you because it assumes you don't know what you are doing. But if you have a number, now imagine we have 14,300 plus 1,300. It appears okay, but this cannot be calculated. If you use a newer version of Excel, it may try doing it for you because it assumes you are trying to do the right thing, but you made a mistake. The reason why I'm saying this is that 1,300 is not a number. There is no number with comma in it. Once you introduce comma, you have changed what this is, and it can no longer be used for calculations. It is text. I like that. This is still a number, even though it is appearing with comma and can appear with currency and can appear with decimal places. Now, anytime you want to show financial value with a currency symbol, don't type the currency symbol yourself and don't bring the comma yourself and the decimal places yourself. This is not okay. Let me explain that again. So here, let me bring dollar again and bring 5,000 like this, and come here and say equal to this plus that. Enter. Do you see what we are getting? This is error. Please, what is this? This is an error. Let me come here. First of all, let me open this a little bit and type 14,300. Just a number. Type 5,000. Just a number. Over here, I can come here and apply comma. I can apply the dollar, and it looks the same. But here, when I come here and I say equal to this plus that, it will give me an answer. The reason is that even though this has all the properties we see here, this or the dollar and the comma we are seeing here are only affecting the appearance but are not affecting the value or the figure in the cell. When I click inside here and you check the formula bar, you are going to see the plain number 14,300 with no comma and other things. This can be used for calculations. This is a number, but here it is formatted like a financial value. Does that make sense to someone?
Yes.
Text cannot be calculated. Numbers can be calculated, or text cannot be used for calculation, but numbers can be used for calculation. Now, when you type the currency symbol yourself, you have destroyed the number, because there is no number with a symbol that is still a number. By adding the symbol, it ceases to be an actual number. That is why the calculation gave us an error. So when you see this is an error. You should never ever do that, because when you do that, it affects the number. The number is no longer a number. It is a group of numbers with symbols and other characters, and those things cannot be used for calculation because they are not numbers. Now, if you want the currency and the styling to appear this way, there are ways to let it appear that way, but the number still remains in the cell. It is only appearing professionally that way. This 5,000 you are seeing here, when we check the formula bar, we will see the actual 5,000 with no formatting. It is still a number.
But if you click the second one, it will appear as a.
Which one? This one?
No, the top one.
This one?
Yeah.
Watch this. See how it's appearing? Because I entered it myself. So don't enter the currency yourself. Don't type the comma yourself. You should never ever do that. Just enter the number itself and use formatting to let it appear the way you want. Please, is that clear?
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. Okay. Now, we are still talking about formatting, and already you have seen me apply merge and center. I've changed the font. You can also change the font size. Font size can be changed from here. Right now it is what, 11. I can change it to 14, or I can change by clicking on the increase font button. This is increase font, and guess what, this one is decrease font. So I think I like these two and I use them most of the time. When I want to increase font, you will see me clicking on this to increase, clicking on this to decrease, instead of choosing a number. They will all work. There's no rule that says use this or that. And actually, watch this, we have 14. When I click here, I see 16. What if I want 15? Now when I click decrease, it goes back to 14. Wait a minute, let me try solving it from here. When I come here, I see 14, it jumps to 16. I don't see 15. What if I want 15? Okay, so if you want it, you click inside and type it yourself. Enter, and it works. So there are several ways of applying the font size. You can select from this list. You can use the increase button, decrease button, or type it, because what you see in the list does not cover every number you may want. So if you want a specific number, you can type it yourself. And to type it yourself, just click inside. If you see that it is highlighted, the number in this box is highlighted, go ahead and type what you want. Most of the time people waste time by clicking and clearing before typing. It is the same, but it wastes time. Once it is highlighted, you can type, and when you type, it will overwrite what is there. All right, so we've talked about font size. Now this annual sales, I want it to look a little bit different from the main text here, so I want to apply bold and italic to it, and I want to change not only the background, I want to change the color of the text itself. Let me click here and you can see that the color has changed, and I want to increase the font size so you can see what I have done. So formatting is about applying font, applying the various styles, applying color to the text and color to the background of the cell. Now from this cell here where we see month, when you highlight everything here and it gets to the end here, you have actually highlighted your entire data set. This is called data set. Data set refers to your entire group of data. Now the entire group of data, you can let it appear more professional by applying a table format to it. Even though Excel looks like a table already, the cells are just in plain cells. You can actually take your data and put it in a professional table. And one other benefit is that when you create a professional table like that, you can name the table. so that whenever you need your data for any processing or calculation, you can just call the name of the table and it will bring every data in it. So this is important. This thing I typed myself. I can try formatting myself, but instead of formatting myself, I want to apply a professional table format to it. So I'm going to highlight everything I see here. Notice I've not left anything, and also note that I've added the headers. The headers are also part. These are the titles. They are not part. This should not be part, but the headers here are part of the data itself, so you need to highlight them. Now watch this. After highlighting this, you can come to the styles, and what do you see here? Format as what? This is important. You click on the arrow here and you can see various table formats, different table formats. You can just look at one that you like and choose. When you choose, a dialog box will show and ask you certain questions. First of all, it will show you your data range, just for you to be sure that this is your data range. Forget about the dollar symbols you are seeing. Later we'll learn about them. But if you ignore the dollar symbol, you can see that we have A3 colon E15. Can you see that? That means your data begins from A3 and ends at E15. So this is a range or group of cells. The dollars are there for something. Later we'll learn about that. Now here, my table has what? Headers. You need to indicate whether your table has headers or not. Do we have headers in our table?
Yes.
What are the headers? Excellent. So if you do, you have to indicate it. If you don't, you have to uncheck it, because if you do and you uncheck it, something will go wrong. And if you don't and you check it too, something will go wrong. So make sure you do this right. So when you click OK, now your data first of all looks professional immediately. And one amazing thing is that you get the drop down here on the headers, and these drop downs, they help us to do so many things. Even data analysis, they can help us in data analysis. So instead of applying these shadings myself, I just told Excel to format my data set as a table. When you format as table, you choose a table style and it immediately applies the formatting to the table. What if you don't like this table style? Just click anywhere in the middle and come to the new tab here called table design. Don't go back to format as table, please. Don't go back to format as table. You come to the new tab here, table design, and just come to the styles and change. Immediately you select a different style, it will apply to it, and you just need to go through and choose a style that you are comfortable with. And you can click on the arrow here and get access to all the styles again, and you can choose whichever one you are okay with, and whatever you choose will apply immediately. Please, is that okay? All right, so let me go back the last one. Okay, what I said was that after applying it, if you want to change the style, let's say you applied it as table format, all right, but you don't like this style, you have to change the style. To change the style, you have to come to the table design at the top here. What it means is that when you format data as table, it creates a new tab for you. This auto tab here, you need to click on it because we use this auto tab to control the appearance of this table. So in order to control the appearance of this table, you need to go there, the new tab called table design. This table design will show when you are within a table. It doesn't show when you are outside the table. So when you're outside the table, you don't see it. Do you see table design? Okay, but when I'm within a table, it will show. So it is showing because this data here has been formatted as table. This is no longer an ordinary data set. It is within a professional table. So once there's a table involved, this tab will show. So you go to table design if you want to change the style. So here I have several styles, and I can go through and choose any one that I like. So I can choose this, and it gives it to me simple. I can choose this one, and it gives it to me. And I can choose something like this, and I have it. All right, now I'm going to explain one or two things before we move away from here. When it comes to formatting as table, again, just highlight your data. On the home tab, you see format as tables, and just select the formatting you want. After you select, if you want to edit, click anywhere in the middle and go to the table design. Now when you come here, you can change the table style, but another thing you can change is what we call the table style what. This is really important. The table style options, it is so important. Now we can see several options here. All you have to do is to check or uncheck. Now which ones are checked? And which one? Footer button. Okay, let's uncheck them and see what will happen. First of all, let's uncheck header row. When you uncheck header row, you see that your header will vanish. When you check it, your header will show again. The next one, what do you see here? Anytime you have a professional table, you are able to just check. Don't create, just check. When you check, a new row will be created under everything for you called what? This total, I didn't create it. You are not the one to create it. Because we have a table, the table creates total for you automatically. And the last time, you remember we had a table that allowed us to change the type of calculation down here. It is because that table came from a total row. So because it's a total row, I can come here. If I don't like the calculation they are giving me, this is a sum, I can change it. I can change it to a count. Let's say I want a count. I want to know the number of items. This is what I want to appear as my total under this column. Or I want the max, mean. I think I want the sum. Don't worry, I want the sum. If I want my currency to appear here, I can now come here. Sorry, I go to the home tab and go back to where we applied the currency, and I will choose my Ghana cedi and click OK, and my Ghana cedi is there. Now I'm seeing hash. Who can tell me why we are seeing this hash?
Because the column is small.
Good. So the column width is not enough, so we need to open the column width a little, and you can just double click here to open it, so we can see our currency symbol within it. And this looks very presentable, because if we apply the currency symbol to everything here, it will look too clumsy. We just want the numbers to be very plain and simple, but the total should have our currency. I can come here, and first of all, let me check what is here. Oh, you can see that we have these things here, right? It's also there. So you can just do this, so just don't worry. But what I wanted to say is that you can actually click inside and type your own function. So if you want to do your sum, you can go ahead and still do your sum. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to put your sum, you can go ahead and do your own calculation, but you can also use the auto calculations they give you. Just use your drop down and you have your total. So maybe here, instead of total, I can do count here and know that the items here are 12 number, and this is a sum of this is sum, this is sum. Is that okay? Excellent. Please, we are still talking about the table style options. Table style options. Let me go back there. Where can we find it? Please tell me where we can find it. Where? Table style options. Where we were? Where can I find it? Excellent. Don't forget it. I moved away from that tab, and so I wasn't seeing it, and I wanted to know whether you remember. Don't forget, it is under the table design. So if you move by chance into a different tab and you are looking for it, please remember to go back to table design. All right, now what do you see here? Not branded, banded. Okay, good. Now it is checked. That means it is in effect. I'm going to uncheck it and you will see what will happen. Then you know what it is. So I'll uncheck banded rows, and do you see some changes? You notice any change?
Yeah.
Let me show it again. Banded rows. You notice any change?
Yes.
So what is the banded rows? Okay, so it shades the backgrounds of, let's say, all odd rows, and the even rows are not shaded. That's what we call the banded rows. So number 1 is shaded, number 2 is not, right? Then number 3 is shaded, number 4 is not. So all the odd numbers, it will shade them, and it doesn't make it look more professional. How does it make it look more professional? It's different from when we started. Good. We are trying to make our work look more professional, and I'm asking, does it look more professional? You are saying yes, eh? And my question is, how does it look more professional? It differentiates by colors, differentiates the rows, but better still, it allows us to be able to trace all rows. So remember, if I'm in the match row, you see that I can easily trace everything in match. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good. I will not be in match and be confused about my row, and I'll be here. But if everything were to be black and white with no background, you can easily be confused and you'll be in April row when you are trying to trace match. Do you get what I'm saying? Beautiful. Now let's go back to the table design. Please watch this. What do you see here? First column. Now it is not checked, so see what is happening. I can check first column and see what will happen to the first column. Do you see something happen? Okay, what happened? Please tell me what you see. The background of the first column has changed. Does it look better? Okay, you will decide whether you like it or not. So if you don't like it, you remove, and everything is like this. Depending on the data you are working on, sometimes it is so nice, and I think this one looks better, I think, because since it's annual report and we want to highlight the month, I think when it's this way we can really see the month well, but it is your own preference. You choose it if you want, or uncheck it if you want. All right, we also have last column. If you like it, you can select it, and the last column will also be highlighted. But if that is if you want, I don't think I like it, so I will not use it. So these things are there for you to select if you want and if you don't. Now we have banded columns. Let me remove the banded rows and apply the banded columns. Watch what will happen. When we use banded columns, look at how it did it. Please, are you seeing this? So instead of banded rows, if you think you like banded column instead, or if you think you like both, let me apply both and see. If you think you like both, I don't think I like both. So which one do you like? No. What I'm saying is that right now I'm applying banded row, I'm applying banded column. Which one do you think we should use? The banded rows. Richard, which one would you like?
Banded column.
So that means we should not use a row and we should leave it like this. Is this okay for you? Okay, so it depends on the data you are working on. If you like the banded columns, you can use it. But if you want the banded rows, I think I'll go for banded rows. So I don't want banded columns. And I want it to look like this, just because I really want to trace the values like this. So I like the banded rows. Okay, fine. And the last thing here is the filter button. The filter button, when I click on it, notice what will happen to the headers. You see that what happened?
The filters are gone.
The filters are gone, and the filters are the drop down buttons. You see that the drop downs are gone. So even though you have the table row ones are there, but the main header drop downs are gone. Even though we have the headers and we are using a table format, the filters are gone. So if you want the filters to show, usually it shows and it should show. You can show the filters here, and these filters are amazing. When we start doing data analysis, you see the importance of the filters. Let me check my list again. So we have done font, we have done some shading, we've applied the merge and center. Let's look at alignment. Now when it comes to alignment, Excel allows you to align your text in interesting ways. For example, I want to increase the height of this and also increase the width. I'm just doing this for the sake of alignment. Okay, I've done enough. For example, this month, if you check the cell here, now the cell is looking like a box, right? You'll notice that first of all, it's at the left, the text is at the left, and it is also at the bottom. Can you see that? When you come to the home tab, on the home tab, when you come to the alignment area, we have 6 different alignments for text in Excel. The bottom ones are for the horizontal alignment, and the top ones here are for vertical alignment. So like I said, right now it is left and bottom. I can change it to center and bottom. So when you check it this way, you can see that it's at the center but at the bottom. Can you see that? Over here, this is the bottom align. Here we call this what? Middle. I can choose center and middle. When I say center and middle, center means horizontal, middle means vertical. So this is how it will look like. Horizontally it's in the middle, it's in the center, and vertically it's in the middle. I can say vertically it should be at the top. So when I come here, I can see that vertically is at the top, but horizontally is in the center. I can say top and right, and this means that it's at the top and at the right. I can say top and left, that means it's at the top and left. I can say left and middle, and it will look like this. I can choose right and middle, and this is how it will look like. So you have to understand that when it comes to the alignment, there are 6 different ones. We have left, center, right, top, middle, bottom. You have to use 2 all the time. One for the horizontal, one for the vertical. So you have to use 2 all the time. Now, if your cell, I want to reverse all that I've done. Good. If your cell is normal like this, you may not see the effect of applying the vertical ones, but you may see the effect of the horizontal ones, right? Is I following?
Yeah.
So the horizontal alignments are working, but the vertical will not work because the cell height is very small that we can't see, or it has no room to move around. Now, what he's trying to say is that when you look into Excel, you can see that all texts are automatically aligned to the left and all numbers are automatically aligned to the right. This alignment, you don't do it yourself. Excel does it automatically. You have the power to change it. For example, I can change the numbers and tell them to come to the left. But in accounting, numbers are usually aligned right and text is usually aligned left. So you can leave it that way, but you still have the power to move it around. Are you talking about the alignment? Yeah, so in terms of the alignment, this is a professional way of handling it. Yes. Nevertheless, if I want my quantity to come to the right to make my work more visible and look better, for example, let me use center. This quantity, I want to align it center to the center, and all the numbers here, I want to bring them to the center. There is no law that stops me from doing this. If it looks better, this is how I'll align my text or my numbers. It won't affect my calculation, it won't affect anything. Alright, so it's all about making your work appear professional. So however you can make it appear professional, you go ahead and do it. Okay. The next thing is what? Text orientation. Text orientation is just like alignment, but a little different. Let me show you what I mean. Let me pick product and come here, and you see that we have orientation. I can use this orientation called angle counterclockwise, and you can see that it has changed orientation to angle counterclockwise. I'll highlight all of these and apply the same orientation. The last one is also doing angle counterclockwise, and I think I want to remove the last one. So I'll come back here and click on it again, and it will come back to normal, and come here and change the alignment to right, and it will look like this, or center. So formatting is all about making sure your work appears okay. The reason why I don't want this to cross here is that it distorts the borders here and the appearance is not really nice. Let me see the first one. If okay, so let me explain this. We have vertical, okay, we have angle clockwise, that's like this. We have vertical like this. We have rotate text up like that. Please, are you seeing this?
Yes.
We have rotate text down like this. We have more formats. If you want to remove, you can see that one of them is selected. Just click on it again and it will remove it and give you your text in the normal orientation. Okay, now after changing orientation, you can still go ahead and change the shading. Remember, when it comes to coloring, let me emphasize this. we have two different coloring commands here. The first one is a bucket and the next one is a text. The text one here is for the text color and the bucket one is for the fill color. Fill means what? The background. So I want to change the background to something like this or something more colorful. I'm just doing this not for fun, but just to show you what is possible and what is not possible. I'm just doing this to let you see, because in your first assignment you are supposed to do something similar. All right, and we are okay with orientation. Let's look at Format Painter. Are you ready for Format Painter? Excellent. Format Painter is one of the most magical tools in Excel. Over here, let me start a new table and say we have name, we have sales, we have department. Now I'm yet to apply any formatting to this, what I've selected. Can you see? But I think I like the way the formatting here looks like. Now, instead of going over a formatting I have already done, the Format Painter is there to make sure you don't go through that trouble again. Once the formatting is already done, just choose it and come to the Format Painter. The Format Painter is this thing here. It's in the clipboard group. This thing here is called what? It's amazing. In Ghana, only 5 people have used this before. And last year, Corona killed 3 of them. It's left with only 2 people who know how to use this. I'm joking. But most people have never discovered the Format Painter. It's amazing. So if you want to apply the styling we applied here, just click on it and choose Format Painter. And bring Format Painter and click on what you want to apply it on. And it will automatically apply the style to it. Let's say I have something here called summary table. And this summary table, let me merge and center this quickly. Merge and center. And say I want the formatting I did here, right? I'll click on it, go to Format Painter, fetch the formatting, come here and click on this. Do you see it? It will apply this. Now Format Painter is like copy and paste, but it doesn't copy the text and it doesn't paste the text. It only pastes the formatting. It pastes the styling. It is so interesting. So it is one tool or feature in Excel that makes work very, very easy. If there is something you've done before, please don't do it again. Just use the Format Painter and apply it to what you want to do. You can choose a Format Painter and apply it to a group. Now when you finish applying it, it's gone. Remember, let me come here and merge the top here. Let me merge and center and say that this is my sales personnel. I want to apply the formatting here. So I will come and select where the formatting is and watch this. When you click on Format Painter, your icon changes with the formatting brush. Do you see this brush? Do you see it looks different? When you see this, means you are carrying something. What are you carrying? You are carrying some formatting that you are about to apply. If you finish applying it, you see that it's gone. You see that it's gone. When you finish applying it, it will go away. Now, it doesn't mean you can only apply it to one cell. You can apply it to a group. Okay, wait a minute. What if I want to apply it to individual cells, but I want to keep on applying, and I don't want to be going up and down, up and down? If you want to pick the format painter permanently, or you want to pick it for long, instead of clicking on it, for example, I have this formatting here, right? I will double click. When you double click, it means you have taken it, and it will always be there. Please, can you see this? It will not go anywhere. It will only, if you don't like it again, then you have to go and click again that I'm done. Do you see it? So whatever you put here, it will apply the formatting. Please, are you getting me? So the format painter, you can carry it with you to do several jobs. That is if you double click on it. But if you just want to apply it at one place, you click on it once. Alright, so the next thing is to insert images. So let's say you are working on something like this. Let me clear everything here. And I'm actually deleting the columns. So you can delete columns, you can hide columns, you can insert columns. For example, the work I'm doing here, let's say I forgot that we are supposed to add a column like supplier. Supplier should come after the product, and we didn't create it. I can come to column C, right click, and select what? When you click insert, something will be created there. Then I can come here and change this and type supplier. Let me change the color to the color. I can just come here and pick any color I want. Okay, so the supplier here is, let's say, milk from, I don't know, I'm just typing it. So let me just put, please, are you following what we are doing? Yes. Good. All right, so I've been able to insert a column. You can delete a column, you can insert a row. Even after you have finished with everything, you can still insert those things. But right now we want to insert images. Let's say the company expects you to add their logo to this work. So I want to come here. I've increased the height of the row here, and after increasing the height, I can see that the text has moved downwards. How can I send it back to the middle? Alignment. So here, which the alignments are here, which one should I use? This one, eh?
Yes.
Okay, so when I choose that, it fixes it. All right, so the company wants you to insert their logo. So you go to the insert tab and look for pictures. So depending on the version of Excel you are using, you'll find the pictures somewhere. Mine is under what we call illustrations. When you click on illustrations, you see your pictures and shapes and other things. So you can go to pictures from this device and look for the picture. When I find it, I will just apply it. So let's say this is their logo, insert, and it inserts, it appears on my work. What I have to do is to resize it. Now this is a logo. I want to tell you something about resizing logos and images in general. Any image that is complete, there's a way to resize it. Now, one thing you shouldn't, I'm telling you what you shouldn't do, is to use the handle to the right. If you use the handle to the right, you are going to squeeze the logo and distort it. You will destroy the appearance of the logo. This is never done, ever, in any graphic design or in any editing of images. We never do this. Unless you are now drawing. But something that is complete, we never resize from the right. Number 2, we never resize from the left. It will do the same thing. Number 3, we never resize from the top. It will create the same problem. And number 4, we never resize from the bottom. It will distort it. What I'm saying is that we never do this. These handles are there because they don't know whether you are now drawing or you are working on a complete image. This image is complete, so we don't use these 4 handles. But there are some other 4 handles you can see at the corner here: top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left. Those are the ones you have to use, because when you use them, it adjusts the height and the width simultaneously, and the proportion of the image or the orientation of the image remains the same. You can see that the image is not distorted. Even though it's smaller, it is not distorted. So that is what you have to use whenever you want to resize images. So let's say I want to put it here and have the company logo here. Please, is that okay? So this is something you can do. Do you understand what I said?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let me number format. I think we've seen number format already. Number format is simply this area where we apply the number format. So let's say we have supplier. Let me insert a new column here and say, let's say supply date. This supply date, this thing came in September 2021. It's looking like this, Sep 21, and I need to come down here and tell it that it should use a short date format. Okay, so I can use this short date format. If I want to use a long date format, I can change the long date and use a long date format like we did before. I hope you remember the long date format. Okay, so this is number format. You can let numbers and text appear in different ways. Let me get rid of the column I just added. But here you can see that the number format is general. If you want currency format, you can choose currency format. If you want accounting format, you can choose accounting format. If you want it to just be a number, you choose number. If you want it to be time or percentage, you can choose it, percentage. If you want it to be in other fractions and scientific format, you can choose. If you want it to appear as text, you can choose and tell it to appear as text. For example, if I want to put, let's say I want to come here, let me merge these 3 and select, watch this. I want to put here September 2021. This is how it will appear. Why is it not showing in full? I just want September 2021. Let me clear it and try again. September 2021. It's still not showing. I just want September 2021. I don't want sep-21. I don't want 01 slash this slash that. I don't want the long format. I just want September 2021. In that case, the only way I can solve this is by going to the number format and changing everything to text. Now when I say text, it's appearing this way, I can go over and I can go and type over it and say September 2021, and because this time the format is text, it will accept what I put there. So this is number format. You can change the format. We have the increase decimal places, decrease decimal places. For example, the word here, we have them in 2 decimal places. If you want to have more, you can increase decimal places, and we have 3 decimal places. If you don't want the decimal places and you want to take them off, you decrease, 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 and we don't have the decimals. Usually for financial figures, we leave them in 2, but you may be working on something that will require that you take off the decimal. So you can apply comma style but take away your decimal. If you want a percentage, you can just use this to get your percentage. Please, are you here? Okay, so let me create a column here just now. Insert a column and say that sales percent, something like this, and I want to calculate the percentage of sales here. Here I want to use the total for this and the main total. So I'll say that this is equal to this one here divided by this one here. Let me hit enter and see what I have. I have it in this decimals, right? I can now come here and change it to percent, and now it will appear as 2%. I'll highlight all of them and I can choose percent or drop down and choose a number format percentage. So now I can see that everything here has a percentage. I can come here. I think I should just use the sum. Sum is 1. Let me bring percent and see what will happen.
100%.
Beautiful. Please, can you see this? The total is 100%, and now I have seen the percentage sale for each product, and this is helpful. All right, I should go over the percentage calculation. Okay, now if you want to perform percentage calculation, you can enter the formula yourself. But if you want Excel to apply the percentage symbol for you, what it does is that it treats it as if the times 100 is not added. So you have to bring the times 100. For example, let's say we have 5 here, we have 20 here. Now, when you check the percentage, 5 and 20, what is the percentage of 5 out of 20? 25%. It's 25%. That's 25%. This divided by this one. Actually, I'm supposed to bring times 100, right? But because I will format as percentage, I will not bring the times 100. I will just leave it here as a fraction or decimal like this. As a decimal like this. Then I'll come and select the percentage from here. Once I apply percentage to it, now it will give me the total. But if I come here and I say this divided by that times 100, I've done the calculation myself. I'll see the 25, right? But if I want the percentage symbol to show, remember I can't type the percentage symbol myself. So when I come here and I get it, they will add another times 100 again. So Excel usually adds a times 100 again before showing percentage. So make sure you perform your calculation without the times 100. If it's in decimal and you apply the percentage symbol, it's going to work. We've done format as tables. Okay, so we have borders. Now, let me clear everything here and explain the borders to you. The first assignment you have here, you are supposed to create this table yourself, and this table you don't have to use the table format. This table you design it yourself. So in designing this table, let me just design it here. Summary of income records. Okay, so at the top here, okay, let me just finish typing. We have total income, we have highest income, we have lowest income, we have number of months. Then here we have 48,800, we have 15,000, we have 800, we have 12. Okay, so I'm going to format. Here should be merge and center. Did you see it? Here should be merge and center. Then the background color should be the purple, the dark purple here. Where can I find the background color? The bucket, right? Fill. So the purple, is it this one? Okay, that's it. So why is it looking black inside?
Because we make it bold.
Okay, so the text color should be changed to white. Remember, we just changed the background color, but the text color should be changed. So we have to come back here to where the A is and change this to white. And now we have this. Is that okay? Now everything here is in comma style. The backgrounds here, how can we apply this background? We can use a fill. So the fill, we'll just come and choose a fill like this. The one thing we don't have are the borders around this. So with this work, I need to highlight everything here. I need to highlight everything here and come to borders. This is where we have borders. This is one major part of formatting. When you come here, we have various border styles. I want to use the one that says all borders, and this all borders has applied the lines. You can see the border lines showing. Yes, we have one of them that says thick outside borders, so you can make the outside borders thicker. If you want the inside borders to be thick too, you can set it. You can set the inside ones to also be thick by coming to the borders here and selecting either the line style and making it thick from here. And when you select that, they give you a pen to draw, so you can click on the lines and thicken them. I don't know if you can see what's happening. So you can just draw and fix those lines. I'm done. Now what is really interesting about borders is that sometimes, for example, over here I can highlight this and only apply border to the bottom or the top or the left or the middle or the right. You can do that by coming here and choosing the type of border you want. That's your bottom border. There are some words you may have to just apply border to the bottom. Remember when I changed the line style, after changing the line style, the next type of borders you apply, let me choose all borders again. Watch this, all borders. You can see that this time they are thick because I changed the line style before applying. If you have the borders already and you change the line style, you have to draw over it or apply borders again. So if you want it to be thicker, you can change the line style first before applying it. Now in Excel you can see some lines already in Excel. Those lines are called grid lines. Okay, those grid lines, sometimes we come to the view tab and we uncheck the grid line. Do you see this? When you click on this to remove it, your Excel now will have a plain white background. Now those grid lines, when you do printing, they don't show in your printing. So if you want borders to show in printing, you have to apply the borders yourself. Those grid lines are just guides. They will not appear in printing. So now I don't even have the grid lines anymore. On my PC, everything is white background. Sometimes you see some people's Excel and everything is white. Just like I think one of the assignments, like this. There are no grid lines anywhere. You see that the background is white. It's because the grid lines have been disabled. Okay. So let me quickly indent. To indent, for example, let me widen this a little, and you can see that we have total income and all those things. Indenting is about creating some space before the text begins. So I'll highlight all of them, and on the home tab I have my indent. The indent here is under alignment. We have decrease and increase. Right now I want to increase indent. So when I increase indent, it has just pushed this into it a little bit. So sometimes when I don't want my text to touch the wall, I just want it to come inside a little. What I have to do is to indent. After indenting one, I can indent again. Let's say I want this one to go look like it's under this. I can indent this again. So I've indented this twice, and this one was just indented once. Let me undo, and they are all in line. Is that okay? That's the indenting. You can indent, increase or decrease. You can also right click and go to format cells, and under format cells we have alignment. And alignment, you see that we have horizontal alignment can be left indent, right indent. You can indent left, indent right. And it talks about where you want to push. You want to push the left side or push the right side. You can do that. Remember your text orientation. You can do your text orientation even here by dragging this here. Do you remember the text orientation? And over here too, under format cells, actually I should have come here. Under format cells, you have most of your formattings here, and you can apply them here under format cells. Okay. All right. Wrapping text is extremely important. Let me talk about text wrapping. So let's say these 4 cells here are merged. Let me merge them first, and instead of merge and center, let me align it to left. Okay, so let's say we have a sentence here, and the sentence here says that the annual report shown on this spreadsheet reveals I'm just typing anything, earnings for the year 2020. Okay, now watch this. Let me increase the height of this. I've increased the height. Let me align this to the top. I've aligned to the top. Now you see that what I typed here is actually longer than what is showing, and this time because I've merged, it didn't show the rest in the next cell, but part of the text is not showing. And to do that, we need to widen the column, right? Okay, now what if I don't want to widen the column, but I want the text to break down and continue down here? That is where the wrapping comes in. So you can come here and select what?
Wrap text.
When you click on wrap text, what will happen is that it will make this like a border and block it so that no text will continue on that line. Whatever you want to add, Watch this. Whatever text you want to add will also break down and show in the wrapping. Do you understand text wrapping now? This text wrapping. Good. Now let's talk about the guidelines. I've already done that. Do you remember the guidelines? Oh, sorry, not guidelines. Sorry. Grid lines. Of course, they are guidelines, but they are called grid lines. If I want to remove the grid line, just go to View and uncheck the box. Grid lines. So you see some people's Excel, the background is white, plain white, and you don't understand. It's because they don't have the grid lines. Okay. And notice here that you can also make your formula bar disappear. You can make your headings disappear. The ABCD, they are gone. The rows are also gone. Let me show the headings. The ABCD is back. The rows are also back. Formula bar is back. It's here. Formula bar is back. And now this is my grid lines. I don't want a grid line, so grid lines are gone. Everything is white background. Excellent. Okay, so the last thing is conditional formatting. Okay, let's apply conditional formatting to this worksheet. All right, so the last type of formatting we'll look at is conditional formatting. I believe this is one of the best formatting in Excel, and it is something that really makes a difference in your spreadsheet. We want to learn conditional formatting also because in this assignment you can see some conditional formatting here. For example, when you see the wages here, the budgeted says 100, the actual says 89, and the difference is -11. Because it's -11, it has a red background. Let me change the value here to something like 110, and immediately I change it to 110, you can see that the red background is gone. So how did they do that? They did that because of conditional formatting. Also, if you the values here, if they come in negative, you can see that the text here have changed color. So how were they able to change the color over here? It is because there's conditional formatting over there. So we want to learn how this conditional formatting works so that we can apply it wherever we want. All right, so let's look at it. Conditional formatting is located right here under the styles group on the home tab. So the home tab, styles group, you are going to see conditional formatting together with format as tables and table styles. This is conditional formatting. When you click on conditional formatting, you are actually going to see all the types of conditional formatting we have, starting from the first one here that says highlight cells rows. So in conditional formatting, we create rows. In conditional formatting, we create rows. So there's one rule that says highlight cells. So if you want to highlight cells, you can come to the highlight cells rules and define the type of highlighting you want to do. You want to highlight when a value is greater than something, or when a value is less than something, or between, or equal to, or you want to highlight when we see a certain text. You want to highlight when a date occurs, when there are duplicate values. This is very interesting because if you have a list of numbers and you want to pick out any number that duplicated itself, that can pick it up for you because it will help you to know double entries. Let's try this. So let's start with the first one, and I'm going to highlight all the cells here, and we'll go to conditional formatting. Over here, I'll click on conditional formatting and we'll go to highlight cells rules. Okay, highlight cells rules. Let's start with the greater than. So let's click on greater than, and we are going to see this dialog box here that says greater than. So it says that format cells that are greater than, then you put a number here. So over here we are seeing 8,500. All right, so over here you will determine the value. So Excel is just putting something there, but you will determine the value. So let's look at what we have here and decide that no, I don't want to use 800, 500. Let's try 5,000. So when I put 5,000 here, what will happen is that it is going to format all cells that have values greater than 5,000. And how is it going to format them? So here you put in the value, and here you put in the type of formatting you want. The type of formatting we want here says light red fill with dark red text. So that's a preview over here. That's what we are getting. So this is a formatting they have pre-designed for you just to apply. So this is a formatting they have pre-designed for you that you can easily apply. Let's change it and see. We have other ones like yellow fill with dark yellow text. Okay, if you prefer this, you can use this. Let's see green fill with dark green text. Okay, if you like this one too, you can use it. Let's see another one, light red fill. Okay, if you like this. Let's see another one, red text. Okay, so this is our red text guy. So you can format anywhere you see a value greater than something. So now you get a clue about, so now you get a clue on how they did the first one. All right, let's try another one, red border. Let's see how that works. Interesting. All right, I don't think I like any of these formatting, even though they are great and may work for any other spreadsheet, but for my demonstration, I think I don't like any of the ones here, so I'm going to go with custom format. All right, so with custom format, it allows me to design my own formatting. So I'm going to design the formatting I want, because I have the format cells dialog box here, and I can create my own formatting. I can do a number format, I can do font formatting. For example, over here, I think I want to pick bold, and I want to change color to white. Okay, let's check border. I don't want to do anything here. Let's check the fill. Wow, so I want to give a red, deep red fill. So the formatting I've defined here gives me a deep red fill, that is a background color, and gives me a white bold text. I think that would be great. So let me just click OK here, and that is what I applied. So you can just see the preview. I like this. So you can click OK, and your formatting works. So with the conditional formatting, you can format individual cells, or you can format a group of cells like I have done. This one says format anything greater than 5,000. Okay, let me change the rule. To change the rule here, let me highlight them again, or you can choose not to highlight. But when you come here, you can come to the last option here that says manage rules, because all your rules will be here. So I can go to manage rules, and I can see the rule I defined over here is sitting right here, and the formatting is here. All right, so let me go to edit rules, and I'll be able to edit my rule. It has taken my rule into an edit rule or edit formatting rule dialog box here, so I can just make my settings here, or change my settings here. I can just change my settings here. So the rule we designed being interpreted in these boxes here says that we defined our rule based on a certain value greater than a certain number. So this is a number. I can choose to change the number. Let me make the number larger. Let me choose 9,500. Okay, apply. Okay, and let's see what happens. It works fine. So this is conditional formatting. Let's go back there to conditional formatting, and you can see that we have clear rules, and you can clear rules from a selection. So I can highlight everything and clear rules, or I can clear rules from the entire sheet. Let me clear everything and let's try something else. So all the rules are gone. Let's go back to conditional formatting, and this time let's see the others. We have highlight cells rules. You can use greater than, less than. I think we should be okay with this. Let's try this particular one that says text contains. So I'll come here and I'm going to highlight the product here. So let me highlight the product here, and let's come here and go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and select text that contain. Alright, so text that contain, let's put the text here. This time we are dealing with text. I think I want to find Milo. Anything that has Milo in it should have, let me give it a yellow field with dark yellow text. So let's click OK and see how that works. So over here you can see that it has highlighted wherever the Milo appears. What if we change our mind and we don't put Milo here, and let's say we put let's say Maggie? So when the text changes, the formatting also disappears. Let me come here to salt and change salt to Milo, and let's see. Oh, the formatting just appears. So the formatting appears anywhere Milo is found. So this needle here, I'm going to change it to Milo. So I have the Milo right here. So this is very good. It can pick out certain things for you. All right, let's try another formatting, conditional formatting. Okay, let's move to, let me check this one. Okay, so we have a date occurring. Let me highlight, okay, we don't have any date stuff here, but let me create sheet 2, and on sheet 2 we are going to work with some dates here, and let me come here and select this range. I can select an entire column and the whole of, but let me just work with that range. So we go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. Let's find a date occurring. All right, so we wait for that and we see a date occurring dialog box here. Format cells that contains a date occurring. Let's say today, tomorrow. Let's try this month. Any date within this month is fine, and let's choose a formatting. Remember, we can choose any formatting we want. Let's try the green field with green, that green text. Okay, so over here let's put in some dates. So let's say we had 25th of September 2021. Let's see if it will be highlighted. No, it was not highlighted. Let's try 29th of September 2021. It's not highlighted. This month is October. Let's try the 5th of October 2021, and boom, it's highlighted. Let's try the 3rd of August 2021. Nothing. Let's try the 15th of October 2021. Boom, it's highlighted. So the date highlighting is working, the date formatting is working. All right, let me go back to sheet 1 and check what we have here. We also have duplicate values. Wow, I think duplicate values is very interesting. So let's say you have some numbers. Let me highlight everything here, or let me highlight the price, everything here, and the price. Go to conditional formatting and format duplicate values. So here I can look for duplicate values. I can also look for unique values. Anything that is unique, that is, if something occurs once, it should pick it. Or we can do a duplicate. That means if something duplicates itself. Okay, I think I like that. So we'll use a light red with dark red text. Okay, so over here nothing is highlighted because nothing duplicates. Let me put 2000 here and see if it will pick it, and boom, duplicate has been found. Let me try another 1500 here and see, boom, it has been found. So I think conditional formatting is great. Let's try another type of conditional formatting. Before that, let me clear all the formatting we've done so far. Clear from the entire sheet. It's fine. Let's look at top. This is called top/bottom rows. Top or bottom rows. So you can do a top 10 items, top 10%, bottom 10 items, bottom 10%, above average, below average. Let's try them. So let me pick the totals here and just do something quick here. I come to conditional formatting. The top and bottom rows, I can say top 10 items. So it has just picked 10 of them here. I think I only have 12 values here. So it has picked 10 of them. If you don't want to do top 10 and you change your mind, you can come here and do top 5 or top 6 or top whatever, and you put your formatting here. For example, I want to change my formatting. I want a dark green background and some bold text that is in white color, and the fill is going to be some dark green. Let me make it darker and click OK. Okay, so it's going to pick it this way for me. So you can define your own formatting as well. This is amazing. This is amazing. So that is conditional formatting. And let's try something else. Let me highlight this and do the top 10%. So we come here and you see top/bottom values, and I see top 10%. So when you click on top 10%, let me click on top 10%. The dialog box appears. I can change the formatting. I think I want a yellow fill, and okay. So what this does is that it will analyze all the values, and anything that is within the top 10%, it is going to pick it. So in the top 10%, any number that falls within that, it will pick it. So let me try something here like 2500 and see if it will be okay. So in the top 10, so any value here, it will analyze all of them and pick what is in the top 10. If there's something that is not within the top 10, it's not going to pick it. So this is just top 10%. Let me try something here, 2450, and see. All right, so it's still not in the top 10%. This is dealing with percentages, so it's going to perform a lot of calculations before it knows what the top 10% is. All right, let's try another one. We have the top, bottom. Let's try above average and below average. Now I'm going to, let me clear the formatting in this particular text. So format cells, clear rows, and I'm going to clear from selected cells. All right, so it's gone. I've done that. Now let's check this one out. This one says above average, below average. So let me click on above average and give a formatting like the green, light green fill, sorry. So here what it does is that it scans the whole data or the numbers and checks the average, and anything that's beyond above average is going to highlight it, and that is what has happened. So we can also use that for below average. Let me check what we can do quickly. All right, I think we understand this. Now there's something interesting here called data bars. Let me highlight the values here and let's make use of the data bars. With the data bars, what happens is that Excel will actually analyze the data and plot a chart on the cells, and these charts will actually show the bar based on the minimum and the maximum. So it's kind of an average value, but it is it is using the highest value and the lowest value to determine where each bar gets to. So let me use this yellow one because it stands out, and this helps us to understand that when it comes to 2000 here and 15,000, 2000 is very low, so 2000 should be very low like this, but 15,000 is high and it has filled everything. So it uses the bar to determine the values. Let's come here and enter some huge amounts here like 5,000 and see what happens. So you can see that the bars changes automatically, so it analyzes the data and picks it. Now remember that you can use more than one conditional formatting. So here you can see our first formatting is still there, our second formatting has been applied. Let me see if I can put a third conditional formatting. I'm highlighting everything here. I'll go back to conditional formatting. This time I'm not going to use data bars, I'm going to use color scales. Let's try the color scales and see. This is really interesting. So with the color scales, what happens is that I get scales of colors from one color to another color in a gradient. So I can use it to apply just to highlight where my values are high and where they are low. So that is interesting. You can apply that if you desire to. Let me try the icon set, and this icon set is also interesting. You can use icons. You can use icons to determine what is going on, whether you have high values or low values. So these icon sets are also interesting, really interesting. For example, let me use this one here, and this one tells us that we have some values that are high, above average, some values that are below average, and some that are around the average. Let me make some change here and put this one somewhere around 2000, and let's see the changes we'll have. So we can see a lot of changes. Now this conditional formatting helps you to visualize your data by just looking at the cells. So based on what is going on, you can see that your data is highlighted in any way you will define. So you can just design your own formatting and it will apply. So that is what we are seeing here, and I think this is really cool. This is really cool. So this is conditional formatting for you, and with this you'll be able to answer your questions. Now the last thing I'll be showing you is this particular manual rule setting. All the rules we've seen here, they are pre-designed, but when you go to new rule, you can create a manual rule yourself. So to apply that, let me come here and clear what I have here. I know I can apply another condition on it, but for the sake of clarity, I want to clear this so that we can go ahead and create our new rules. So clear from selected cells, they are gone. Now what I want to do is that I want to define some rules here and say that any value that is beyond 2000 should be highlighted. Let's see. So we go to conditional formatting, we go to new rule, and over here it is asking us to select a rule type. Now all these rule types are the same as what we have seen before, just that over here they are more manual in the sense that you define your own settings. For example, format all cells based on their values. You can come here and choose a format styles like a 3 scale, and so this is where we have the color gradient. So you can choose the lowest value, the midpoint, and the highest value. So with what I have highlighted here, if I apply this, it's going to apply what we saw before. We saw this color shading or this color formatting, we've seen it, but over here you can manually configure it. All right, so like I said, we saw it somewhere here around the color scales. You can use a color scales from it, it's the same thing. All right, let me clear those rules and I'll show you something interesting. So I'm clearing this, it's gone. Let me show you this particular one here. Conditional formatting. Let's go to new rule, and under new rule, I'm not going to use all of these because, like I said, that is what we've already done. For example, only select cells that contain, come here and choose value. This is what we used before when we define the 5,000 value. We can come here and say specific text. Remember, when we enter specific text, we use this. You can use specific text to pick Milo or whatever. That is it. So all that we have here are the same. The last one here is quite interesting because this one says use a formula to determine which cells to format. So this one, you actually use a formula, and this is what I want to teach you. Now in Excel, we begin our formulas with the equal sign. So I'm going to begin a formula here and say that, let me pick this cell here, if E4, and let me remove the $sign here. So I'm going to type the E4 myself. If E4 is greater than or equal to 2000, this is my formula. Let's define the formatting. So let's go to format. I want to give it a dark purple background, that is a fill. I'm going to font. As usual, I'm going to make it bold, and I'm going to choose a white color for the text, and I'll click OK and OK. Now let's see what happens. Now you can see that wherever the value is above 2000, it highlights or it applies the formatting we defined. Now the reason why I put E4 here is because I have highlighted a group, and so if I don't change it to E4 directly, it is going to give me the wrong formatting because it will only focus on the first cell, and if the first cell meets the condition, it's going to apply it to all, but that is not what we want. We want them to be individual based, and so I gave the exact cell name of the first one, of the first cell, and I defined my formatting. And what happened was that it applied autofill throughout, and it applied the formatting on the individual cells here. This is very important. If not, you would have to select them one by one like this alone, and go and define your rule. Pick the next one alone, define your rule, pick the next one, define your rule, and that may take time. So to do them together, you will have to highlight them and begin by indicating the first cell for your formula. Let's go back to manage rules and see what we can do. Manage rules. Let's check the rules we have. Okay, so we have a number of rules. This is a rule we just designed, so let me just click on it and go to edit. Now we are having a list of cells selected, and this is a rule we defined. If we hadn't typed it directly like this and we had the $signs in them, we are going to get the wrong results. Let me try for you to see. Let me clear the whole thing and try it again. So let's say we want to put our formula there. We say equal to this cell E4 is greater than or equal to 2000. So it's the same formula, just that we have the $sign in it. So let's click OK, and let's click OK, and let's see what will happen. You see that it has highlighted everything. This is exactly what I'm trying to explain, because the first one meets the condition. What if the first one doesn't meet the condition? Let's say this one is 1300. If it doesn't meet the condition, let's see what will happen. Everything will be deselected. If it meets the condition, then everything will be highlighted. This is not what we want. We want them to be individual based, we want them to be dynamic. That is why we did that before. So let me highlight them again and go to manage rules. Remember, under manage rules, you are going to see all the rules you have defined here. You can click on any of them and delete from here. You can delete rule, you can create a new rule and all that. You can also edit. So I want to edit my rule. So edit, and here all I'm doing is I want to clear the dollar sign and just put the E4 directly. So with the E4 in it treats all of them individually because the cell reference is direct, so it deals with them directly. Okay, what if any of the ones here meets the condition? Let's say this one gets 2,500. What will happen? It has to get the formatting, and voila, it has the formatting. So whatever happens in your data, your formatting follows it. So this is conditional formatting. I believe you have enjoyed conditional formatting. You can design your own formatting. You can perform a calculation like A plus B and use the total for your conditional formatting. Say that if the total is above, or if the total is greater than 0, that means positive, give a green background. If the total is less than 0, give a red background, just like our assignment file. Let me take you back to the assignment file before we end this. And over here, let's see some of the tricks they applied. So let's actually leave everything, go to conditional formatting and check their rules. Let's go to manage rules and let's see what is inside. Okay, here it's saying current selection. No, this worksheet. These are all the rules here, and we can see that it applies green background with white text, red background with white text. Okay, let's click on one of them and edit and see what it says. So it says that if D5 is greater than 0, like I said, so they also use a formula. If it's greater than 0, apply this. So they use an if function. So what this means is that it is just performing this text. Is it greater than 0? It is very, very simple. Even if they didn't use if function, is going to work. They define their formatting here like we've been doing, and it worked. And over here it applies to all the cells. So look at what they've done. They have listed all the cells individually, or they have them in a range. You can see that they are in different ranges. So we have D5 to D9 and different ranges over here. And over here we have a second rule that deals with the negatives. So the negative says is less than 0. Of course, less than 0 is negative, so this is a formatting to apply, and that is why we see that anytime they have negative, we can see that formatting here. So this is very, very interesting. I'm so impressed by this work, and I think we have done justice to conditional formatting, and you should be able to understand conditional formatting. So once the formatting is defined, where it should apply can also be defined here. So it's either you highlight and apply, or you decide to list where it should apply over here. So here what they've done is to list. You can see where it applies. You see, that's what is highlighted. So it's highlighted here. So all the places that this conditional formatting applies, you can see them highlighted. So that is exactly what they've done. I'm so impressed. Let's check our own work and see what we can discover here. When you go to manage rules, watch this. Under manage rules, let me select the entire this sheet. These are the rules we defined. You see that where it applies to, we have them here. If we want to change it, we can add comma and add more ranges, add more cell names, add whatever cell we want to add or whatever range we want to add, and it will apply there. So that is conditional formatting for you. I hope you've enjoyed this. So now you can go ahead and do your assignment. So I want to thank you very much for joining this class. Today has been on the topic format. We just want to learn how to make our spreadsheets look professional and appealing to viewers.